Picture a 1994 Washington quarter resting in a tray of circulated coins, its surfaces catching light just enough to tempt a second look. At first glance, it seems like any other quarter from the mid-90s, Washington's profile on one side, a proud eagle on the other. Yet beneath that familiar exterior, some specimens harbor quirks that can excite even seasoned collectors. Keep reading, because what seems like pocket change might just be the surprise gem you've been waiting for. Back in 1994, the United States Mint produced quarters at 3 locations: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, marked D, and San Francisco, marked S, for proof issues. This was 7 years after the mint had fully transitioned to copper-nickel-clad compositions for circulating quarters, a change that began in 1965. The Washington design, introduced in 1932 to honor America's first president, featured John Flanagan work on the obverse and the classic eagle reverse. Although no major design overhaul occurred until the advent of the 50-state quarters program in 1999, small die variations and the occasional minting error peppered the 1994 output. Collectors chasing full registry sets understand that even a high mintage year like '94 can yield rare finds. When you examine a 1994 quarter closely, a few telltale signs can signal something special. One of the coveted error types is the double die obverse. In these cases, the date and lettering in Liberty or In God We Trust appear to shadow themselves, creating a faint but discernible secondary image. A notable example is the 1994 P double die obverse, which surfaced in small numbers and shows clear doubling around the date. To the unaided eye, it might look normal, so you'll need a loupe or magnifying glass to spot that telltale doubling on George Washington's profile. Another category involves die cracks. Sometimes you'll find a fine fissure bisecting the eagle's wing or splitting the words, United States of America. These fractures result from dies that were pushed past their service life, leaving a spiderweb-like crack pattern on coins struck late in the die's run. Of course, rarity doesn't always translate to astronomical value. Condition plays a massive role. A heavily circulated 1994 quarter without any errors trades for face value or, if a dealer is feeling generous, $1 or $2 at most. In about uncirculated grades, -50 Australian dollars to -58 Australian dollars, those same regular issue quarters might fetch between $3 and $5, depending on eye appeal. Move into mint state, and things get interesting. A standard MS-63 can command $8 to $10 from collectors looking to fill registry spots. At MS-65, you're looking at $30 to $40 for a flawless, glowing example. Now, add a well-documented double die obverse, and an MS-65 specimen recently sold for around $300 at a major error coin auction. Meanwhile, a 1994 D quarter with a pronounced die crack running through, $0.25, achieved nearly $120 when certified MS-64 by a top grading service. These auction records show why collectors meticulously inspect each coin. That faint doubling or subtle crack could mean a 5 to 6-figure difference compared to a standard circulation strike. Every coin has a story, and 1994 quarters are no exception. One collector from Michigan recalls buying a junk roll at a coin show for face value, only to find 3 consecutive double die obverse among the 200 quarters inside. That lucky roll kickstarted his lifelong passion for error coins. Elsewhere, a hobbyist discovered a 1994 S-proof quarter labeled Deep Cameo, with a strikingly frosted bust of Washington against a mirror-like field. These proof coins, struck specifically for collectors, often exhibit sharp contrast, and a PR 69 DCAM grade can sell for $25 to $30 today. Some enthusiasts even search for 1994 quarters with off-center strikes, where part of the design drifts beyond the rim, creating a bold partial image, while somewhat more common, a quarter off-center by 15 to 20% can still bring $50 to $75 if the misalignment is appealing and the surfaces remain unmarred. Ultimately, condition defines value. A quarter that's jostled around in pockets, sporting worn rims and a dulled surface, has little collector appeal. But if you find a coin that shows bold, frosty mint luster, sharp lettering, and no visible wear, you could have an MS-66 or even an MS-67, grades that occasionally demand $150 to $200 retail for a pristine 1994 P or 1994 D, especially if a known doubling or die crack is present. On the other hand, a quiet die crack running through the eagle's tail feathers might only add $20 to a clean -58 Australian dollars. It's these tiny differences, luster, strike, and error prominence, that make a simple quarter into a notable collectible. As you reflect on the unassuming 1994 Washington quarter, remember that each detail matters. That subtle doubling on Liberty, that hairline crack through the eagle's wing, or that deep mirror finish on a proof strike, any one of those features can elevate a common coin into something far more valuable. Next time you come across a stack of quarters, pause when you see 1994 stamped on the edge. You might just find the treasure hidden in plain sight, waiting for someone with a keen eye to uncover its story and its worth.